Hi.
I think this is too low for me.
It's
Yeah.
too loud?
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
a
good.
little-
Get it down a little bit.
A little bit
Nice.
more, a little bit
Thank
more,
you.
Nice. This is better?
a little bit more.
A little bit more?
I'm too sensitive for this. Oh, okay, perfect.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, because it's very cool that we've been geeking out and changing the whole system, the whole setup. Very excited about doing the episode with you guys today, because this has been something that we've been trying to do, and it's way more complicated than I thought.
It usually is.
It usually is, yeah. It's crazy when you start something and you figure out like, oh, I didn't know what it was, and then you find out like you have so much more problem to figure out than you originally thought.
When the pandemic situation started,
Just make sure you have the mic
sure.
close enough to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
When the pandemic situation started, I was on Manizales. Manizales is the place where I born, and I was there with my friends, and some of them told me that they had this nice project of. It's weird because they were planning to sell food. They are all chefs, but they were planning to sell food during the pandemic situation, but like high-ending food. So they needed to cook, but then send to people in their homes the food kind of raw, but the people needs to finish the cooking, and do the emplatar. How do you say emplatar?
Yeah, and to plate everything themselves
Okay.
to serve it.
So the thing is that they came out with this idea of having a kind of podcast or live streaming, connecting with their clients.
To actually show
Live.
them how to do the thing. And
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So every single week we start this project of having like a streaming, but it escalated to, let's say, a TV program, TV show. So it was super fun because we had some days like 300 or 400 guests.
Really?
Every single one cooking from their homes and living like seeing live these chefs explaining how they came up with this idea of the plate and everything, the story,
That was
and
in
how
Colombia,
to cook
or
it. Yeah,
was
in
here?
Colombia.
In Colombia. Okay,
So-
nice.
So it was madness because I am a cinematographer.
Yeah.
I am also a sociologist, but let's say that's my field of expertise,
You're a sociologist.
sociologist.
So you did that in college? You did the
Yeah.
nice.
I did both.
Did you work in that field at all or no?
When I was on college, I worked as a sociologist, but as soon as I got graduated, I started working on audiovisuals. So the thing with this is that I faced this project and I had no idea of how to stream, and I needed to work with 5 of the very best chefs in my town, and try to make them look good without any knowledge of that, and it was madness. So I realized that the amount of energy and investment that you need to get something like this on air.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do appreciate the effort that you're putting on this.
No, it was cool. It was cool because you did the shoot. You did the shoot that we did for Engel Vokers last week, and I was so impressed with all of the setup that you guys brought that I was like, oh shit, this guy. And then you and then I was like, oh, then we need to do. I need your help for my things. And then let's talk. Let's talk about it. And it's nice. It's nice. Are you guys married or no?
Yeah.
Nice. How long?
Yeah. We've been married for
A year?
a year.
Yeah, let's
A
say.
year. Nice.
Congrats.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's quite
Almost
an
a year,
adventure.
yeah.
It's quite an adventure. And to running a business together is, wow. It's quite an
We do
adventure.
a lot.
We do a lot.
Or we do podcasts together now. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been incredible. I mean, I never expected to have that kind of collaboration, I think, with like my partner.
Why not?
I don't know. I think it's a lot. Usually, you think, having just a relationship and managing that, right?
Yeah.
And like
It's a lot already.
It's a lot already.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I think I've been very lucky. I've had really incredible relationships, and most of them have been collaborative. But this one, in terms of, you know, as artists and running a business and everything, I think, yeah, it's something that's quite unique, and it requires a lot of work, because it's like, you know, you have your relationship, and, you know, our office and everything is in our living, so, you know, where we live, and then we have our work, and so that it requires a lot of, like, you know, maneuvering between. It's like sometimes you have to put your relationship like in a, you know, in like a little box outside, and you're like, okay, and now we're going to work and we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And so managing is interesting.
Yeah. How do you make it work though?
How do we make it work?
I think that
Because it's been a year. It's been long enough, so you can you know like what you've been doing. You know what you like. You know, like you probably took a bunch of bad habits too that you didn't notice.
No, for sure.
Is it a year of the business as well, or more?
No, a little less actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we started our business in February. I don't know.
Because you guys moved to Miami this year, right? In the
last year.
Last year. Yeah.
We are in 2023, right?
2023.
Okay, it was 2022. But yeah, I feel that to make it work, realize I don't know, lucky, I guess, but also I feel that we were kind of prepared. I mean, I like, I realize that I'm the kind of guy that likes to involve his partners on the work, because I'm not a guy of too many friends. So I prefer to have a really close friend who is my wife, my partner. I like that. So yeah, it's fun, because when I think, I realize that I had the experience before. I worked with my partners before, so I'm very patient with that. I think every single time it went well. I mean, it works for me. I feel it's a nice way to work, because I put so much effort on my work that I cannot live with someone who doesn't understand what my work is about. So it used to work with people who are related on my field of work. They used to understand better what is my work about.
What that like work ethic is like.
And then I just feel it's patience. It's patience, because sometimes it doesn't work, but you need to wait, because at the end of the day, if you keep pushing, it will work. It's just a matter of patience.
Yeah.
If you lose it, you lose everything.
Yeah.
I think it's also like something that maybe kind of unifies us is like the ethos, right? Like in our values and everything around like what we do and like our way of life. And we bring that to our business. Like that's just like the way that we live, the things that we seek to do with our company, and like through our just professional, like our career, and the impact that we want to make, like that is what drives us. And so we share that tremendously, and we know that that's like at our core. So it helps, like that's like, I think what unifies us, and like, we're like, no, we're in this for the right reasons. And so I think that passion is and love is what makes it work.
Yeah. And a lot of patience.
And a lot of fucking patience.
Because a lot of it, you're.
It's like Valentina said the other day. She was like, we did the podcast with this girl, and they own a Sandoce, the sandwich shop. I don't know if I told you about it. I told everyone about those sandwiches. They're the best sandwich I've ever had.
Interesting.
But they've been doing this. They're from they're from Colombia as
Venezuela.
Venezuela. And she was like, she's here on a talent visa. She was a TV star, dancer.
Oh, wow.
She does so many. It's wild. So many things. And he was a lawyer too. And then when they got here, he started to work in a kitchen. And everyone was like, "Oh shit, you're pretty good at this." And then he started to work in a very high-end restaurant in Miami. And then they've been doing the company Sandoce for a few months. But then now they're paying all of their bills. The business is surviving. It's amazing food. They're in they do pop-up.
Winwood.
They're mostly in Wynwood at the right across Wynwood Wall, right? There's empty lot, and then it's very cool what they're doing over there. But
The smorgasbord.
Yes.
exactly,
Ah,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
We always
Yeah.
wanted to
I
go
know.
It's amazing. I love to go there on the weekends. It's amazing. You can try a bunch of food, and then it's a bunch of new restaurant, right? And then those guys, Johnny's fucking crazy. He's been working on, so they make everything from scratch, right?
Beautiful.
Everything from in their house.
Ah, amazing.
In their she was saying he does on Monday, he does 7 grocery store to get all of the things that he needs, and then he does the preps. He does the prep all at home. They do everything from scratch. He worked 6 months to make the bread. To get the
to
get
get
the
the
perfect recipe for the
perfect
bread.
bread.
The idea that he had,
want to try
he
that.
tried a bunch of
Patience.
things. He tried a bunch of things. Valentina told us he worked 6 months on this. She was like,
Wow.
"How long does it take to make a fucking bread?"
If you want it to be good, it takes
That was
time.
incredible. I love those guys.
Every single little things needs so much work.
So much work.
And
So much care.
It's the simplest thing because it's their idea is they wanna bring Michelin star quality to the simplest thing, which is a sandwich you can make at home, right? But you can never make this sandwich at home because they make everything from scratch.
It'll take
And
you 6 months,
yeah,
at least.
yeah, and he was good too when he started to figure that out. So it can take a while. But with what she was saying with because they also do the business together, and they were struggling, and struggling is a big word because they're making it work. It's just hard to when you're very focused on the business. Sometimes you lose sight of the what's important of the relationship of the actual life that you have together, right? This is yesterday. I told her we took some time last night, and because we have this small lake right beside our home, and it's amazing. We sit there. We used to do it almost every night, but we've been super busy in the last few weeks, so we didn't do it as much. And then last night we sat there, no phones, but we had the phones, but just like music and. We call it the executive meeting.
Talk ideas, try to relax.
We talk ideas, we try to relax. Like maybe we have a little bit of wine, we have the dog. It's just nice and something we've been doing for a while. We started to record those conversations just for us because because we've been trying to build this thing together, and the amazing thing is look. This is how we discuss where we want it to go, how we want it to look like, what we want to do, and all of the ideas behind this project. And the cool thing we thought is maybe in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever, if it worked, well, cool. We have all of this know-how of how we made it work, right? And if it didn't work, well. Remember 20 years ago when we had this crazy idea?
Experience. It's just in your life. I feel that.
It's interesting. It's interesting to look at it this way because I thought it would be good memories either way.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and mentioning Valentina is they're also learning how to navigate both the business and the relationship side, which we're doing too.
And
it gets
what made me think about Valentina is
right the intense
conversation.
because you're learning on the go. You're learning all of this stuff. You've never done it before, right?
things.
Yeah.
And it's so hard because on an ideal world, you need to put your business-related matters on the side when you go to bed. But in real life, it's too hard.
But I disagree. I disagree with this because I think when you're passionate about something, when you actually do something that you care, you never know when you're gonna have an idea or when something is gonna pop up and you're like, oh, I cannot even wait to tell you the idea that I just had. We had to make this rule, right? Because she likes the calm in the morning. She likes the ease in the day, and I'm a savage. When the first sounds because it's the only way I can. I'm so lazy, guys. You have no idea. The only way I can figure out to not be a slob and stay in bed and do nothing is at the first time I hear a sound from my phone, the first ring of the alarm, I'm like, all right, I need to get the fuck out of here.
I feel you.
And I go straight to the gym.
Okay.
I go straight to work
That's
out
interesting.
because it's the only way I figured out to do it every day.
I need to wake up, and I need like 2 hours to reset my mind.
Really?
Yeah, I always do that. I make coffee, fresh coffee, every single day, and I sit on the balcony. We have
Yeah.
the bay view from Miami. It's beautiful,
Nice.
and I always sit there to see the sunrise and try to reset my mind because I don't know. It's weird. Every single time I wake up, I feel that I was like that. I have no memories. I don't know what to do today.
Basically.
So,
Yeah.
for example, today we needed to be here at 9 a.m. So I wake up. I woke up at 6.
Well, I woke up before you today, actually.
That's interesting.
But we've switched because I used to be the early morning riser. I would get up, go to the gym first thing in the morning,
Yeah.
or go for a run, for specific. But over this past year,
But I feel it's because we change of the
Your
pattern.
lifestyle. Too?
Of house.
Oh,
The house.
maybe.
I
Oh, you got a
think
new
that
place.
You have a couple of things that are outside of your, of your own body
Yeah.
that makes you behave different.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
we used to live actually nearby here in Victoria Park for a while there.
Yeah.
We live.
It's a great neighborhood. It's very
Oh,
nice.
we
beautiful.
loved it.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to live on a 1930 house. Very
It was
beautiful.
Art Deco, so cute. the
Beautiful.
owners are amazing.
I'd love to see photos later.
Yeah.
Cross. And we used to live there, but the room was kind of dark. It is not reached by the sun.
Yeah, like very indirect. So
Yeah.
you would never get full sunlight in the
At the
bedroom.
place where we are living now, we don't close the windows, so the sun is the first thing
Hits.
as
And
soon
you
as
see the bay,
Yeah.
and it's like you have a full. We're very
I
we're
can-
very happy with this
I
view.
cannot sleep after, let's say, 7 a.m. because of the sun.
Nice.
Yeah, it heats
But
up the
I
room.
am a night owl.
Oh.
So all of my life, I prefer to work at night. I
Really?
prefer to wake up late and that kind of stuff. But now I am the guy who is waking up at 6 a.m., taking his coffee. Okay, I need 2 hours, but then I go to the gym. I have my normal life. But I'm waking up so early, and now Anabel is the one who is waking up at, I don't know, 8:30, and we are switching. And
Wow.
it's so fun because when you have so much time with someone, you start realizing that you are becoming.
You're getting in sync, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's very odd that we do that. We start to act
It's
together.
fucked
We
up.
start to act alike. We start to talk a little bit more to get
And
alike.
you're just switching.
Yes.
You
Sometimes
switching.
you are the good police, I'm the bad police, and then we switch.
I know.
And then
Yeah.
we don't know. We don't know.
And
who
who
is-
we
who
are
is who.
anymore.
Who is who?
Who the fuck am I?
But
You're growing.
the cool thing with growing with someone though, because if you have
It's-
if so okay, so for me, I always wanted to have a partner that I could do business with, that I could have that I could build something with, right? Something real. And now I think I found her. And it's super different. And it's the first time I was confident enough to actually involve someone in everything that I'm doing and actually try to build something together, and it's very cool. But I think what you need to have is you need to like each other, right? You need to not love, you need to like each other. You need to like to be around the person. You need to enjoy the time that you guys have,
That-
like
their
as a friend,
presence,
right?
yeah.
As the present, because you need to be comfortable. You need for me, this is first thing first. I need to like you, right? Then you need to have interesting conversations. So you need to be smart. You need to be smart enough to be able to engage or be curious and all of this. I think curiosity is the main thing for me, because if you're not curious, then what's the point?
Yeah, for sure.
Right? If you, I don't.
Yeah, no, that's
Totally
true. Actually, yeah.
And also the good thing is you need to be aligned on values.
Yeah.
Need to be aligned on values, and then if you have those, I think you can make it work if you prioritize the relationship and the growth and because I don't think you can separate work and life, work and your personal life, or I don't like to do that. This is for me, what I do, how my career, how I make money. This is just who I am. This is just what I like to do. I like to make deals, and I like to talk, and I figured out that I could do that, and I was like, oh shit, that's amazing. And no, it's very interesting. But the cool thing is if you can challenge yourself, if you can grow together, if you can improve together, then I think this is amazing.
Yeah, for me, I love people who has strong character. Yeah. Because I have a very strong character and I'm always like commanding, and I feel that if I have no control or someone trying to control that, sometimes like I get like loose on that character. I don't know if you understand me. Like I like that I can respect every single decision that Anabel's make because I trust on her character, and I feel that is a very important part of having a relationship and having a business together, because sometimes I don't want to do that choice, that election, but I trust her because I feel that she's strong enough to challenge me. Yeah, and I do like that. I don't like when you take all the decisions, when you have a person with a soft character and they cannot take decisions, they cannot challenge you, they cannot tell you, hey, you're wrong. I would like to explore this path instead of yours. I really like that because I want to grow my capabilities, not focusing on just what I like. So I think that I love when we are aligned, but I love more when we disagree, because I feel that we go further,
I agree.
Go far with that kind of things.
And we learn from each other, right?
Sure.
In those conversations, because we get in it,
Actually,
in the best way. No, like we just go, we really
deep.
just, we go very deep into these conversations. And like, it comes back to what you were saying. It's like the values, right?
Yep.
But we know at the end of the day where our values lie, and that is what aligns us. And so we're able to move forward and disagree sometimes, like agree to disagree. And that is like, that's such a thing. I never thought that would be such truth until like.
It's a big deal, right? It's a big deal now to be able to agree to disagree. It seems like there's a lot of people that can't do that right now.
It's hard.
I'm in love with this idea of disagree, because I feel that's something that is going really bad with the world right now. It's very related with social media and the thing that they call the algorithm. And it is that you are just focusing on the part of the population that thinks like you. Yeah. And you are not, you
in
are
an echo chamber.
you are getting unused to disagree. Yep. So right now it's very funny because right now I am enjoying a lot of sharing with people who are very different than I, and I'm getting like in love with this idea of listening different perspectives.
Look at what we're doing now.
Yeah, it's a little bit
I
of
think this is so interesting.
Yeah,
because right now we've been talking to everyone that we talked to was wildly different from each other, and for me it's amazing, because everyone that we talked to I liked, and I like them as a person, and then honestly I don't care about your views. I think the nice part about this whole thing is it's nice that we're different. It's nice that we're different, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out, okay, like I think my views are the best because they're my views. This is me. I think I live with myself. These are my views. So of course I'm biased towards what I think, right? Yeah. But you have to be aware that maybe you're wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
right? And then so the cool thing that we're trying to do is by talking to people that we like and with different backgrounds and different upbringings and different things that they're doing, trying to let's say the best image that I was able to come up with, maybe you have a better one, but is, let's say you have everyone on Earth, right, in a circle, right, and then they all look towards the middle. It's going to be a big ass circle. but reality is in the middle, right? And then so everyone's going to be side by side in the circle, and everyone's going to have a different angle that they're going to see reality from. Yeah. Right? That makes sense, right? Yeah. And then so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be like, okay, this is my angle, this is what I see, this is how I see it. I think this is best because I see it that way. But maybe I'm wrong because I'm aware that everyone else has the same kind of idea. So I'm trying to be like, hey man, like, what does it look like
over there
from your angle over there? Like, what do you see? And then we can talk about it, and then we can bounce ideas, and then we can discuss, and then we can see because okay, like I have this point of view, and please explain to me your point of view. What do you see? And then now you have two sides, and then I'm trying to have the most sides that I can. And and I think it makes sense, and I like to have this kind of more like third person, like global perspective on reality or events, or actually with like life, or because I don't know for you, but nobody told me how it works.
Yeah, do you guys have like a mentor or anything for what you're doing? You just, I guess.
I feel like I have
this fucking life.
Best mentors. None of them are professionals like my mom and my teachers.
Or people that you go to.
I feel that I got, thanks God, a really nice education. I'm profoundly.
How is the school system in Colombia?
You know what? I thought that we had the worst school system in the world when I lived there, but now I'm thinking that sometimes when you are so deep on a reality, you think that that's the worst. You know, like you.
When you're in it, it's hard to value it.
You get more perspectives, and then you
with the things that you have that are closer to you. I feel that it's not good at all. I mean, it's not as good as we would like. Particularly talking about the middle and the lower class. But the system is pretty good. I mean, talking about college is super good. I mean, you need to when you're living in Colombia, you need to think, do I want to study on a private college, on a public one? And both are super, super good. Actually, some of the public college are better than most of the private college. So that's really nice. And talking about schools, it's completely different. Public schools in Colombia are hard. Some of them are good, but they are mostly hard places for children. Yeah. And talking about me in particular, I had this Catholic education. I went to a Catholic school. It was. I think I used to think that this is my school is a school for workers, because our hours we used to study between 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. and that's the schedule of workers. So you know your mom can
very regimented.
It's different because it's crazy, because you realize that every single school has like the point of view of the people who are studying there. If you belong to, I don't know, business owners, that kind of school is different that workers' school. So I went to a workers' school, and everything is super hard for children too. I don't like that. I don't like when they try to teach you something just in a way, and this is what reality is, and you know, and you need to know this, and it's like a punishment. I don't like that kind of education, but I feel that the kind of teachers that were at my side, they were kind people, and it's not about the system. It's about sometimes it's about the people that
Yeah.
that are around you. And I was so lucky to have good people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that every single time it was a nice person trying to do their best to teach me something, and I'm super grateful. For that.
You know, something that I would love for you to talk about this, because you always mention ethics and like getting that, because we don't get that in the education system here. And so I would love for you to talk about that, because you mention it all the time, and I think it's really beautiful. And yeah, so
We talk a lot about life, of course, in a home, and there is a thing that I realize that not everyone has. That is that in my school we have an ethics subject, like a class.
Like ethic class.
yeah,
And
it's part of the curriculum.
like 2 hours of the week, we were talking about how to control our emotions,
Really?
how to talk to other people, how to be a good person. Everything on the frame of Catholicism, of course. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, but if you take
Because
if you take the core of the religion, this
beautiful.
is great.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's really interesting, huh?
I don't feel
they
myself
all-
as
they-
a Catholic. I feel that as a product of Catholic
Yeah.
ethos, and I find that very interesting, because I realize that people doesn't have that kind of education. People doesn't know how to handle with their emotions, how
Yeah.
to ask for a favor.
Yeah.
People doesn't know that you need to pick your garbage.
Yeah.
You know, like that
You need
kind
to pick
of
up
things.
after yourself.
Yeah.
That's very important, because
Essential.
after school, I realized that it's not about mathematics. It's not about biology. It's about if you are a good person or not. It's a kind of. I prefer to hire someone who is a nice person but doesn't have any idea what he's doing. I can teach him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to work with
I think
people
I think the focus of school should be one of the focus of school should be to bring up good citizen.
totally
Citizenry, yeah.
I
What is
think
like civic responsibility?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely.
Because we kind of are in this whole thing together because we live at the same place, right?
Yep.
And at some point, we need to realize that when we have people in our home, we need to be aligned with values. So we're gonna have to have tough conversation in the future with a lot of people, because it seems like there's a lot of people that don't like it here. And for me, it's weird. It's weird because I came here because I wanted to, it's frustrating. I don't know for you guys because you're immigrants as well, and it's frustrating to see people that it seem they're here but they don't like it. Why? Why are you here?
I know.
Why do you want why are you here if you seem to hate everything that we're about? Right?
And the awful truth about that is that if you don't enjoy where you are not able to enjoy anything. I mean, it's not about Miami. It's not about living in London or
It's
New
on the
York
US,
or,
whatever.
or Colombia or Canada or whatever. It's about you.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter where you are. I feel. I love Miami. I mean, I love Miami. I like this place.
Like the view.
But I actually think I love Manizales. I love Bogota. I love New York. I love every single place where I have been. But because I have to try, I need to think that I like my life. So what I'm enjoying is my life, not the city.
Yeah.
So I can be happy wherever I want.
Yeah, because the environment is a big part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because
Of course.
this is something that I told many clients when they were looking for a new place to live is you're not only buying the house, you're also buying the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
'cause,
community.
Yeah,
The communities.
Then the first thing that I always tell them when they're looking at the new place is you look at the house. Sure, when you see something that you like, go drive around. Go drive around a couple of times, and then we can schedule, and then we can go see it, and then we can go see it in person. We could just, if it's too far, just go, like, you can browse on Google Map. This is the cool thing with what we can do right now is you can browse on Google Map. You can check a little bit what's around. You can see, okay, do I see myself in this environment every day? Right? And this is why I liked when the way we traveled lately is because we kind of, I like to see myself when I travel. I like to see myself like, what would my life be like if I lived here? You know,
I always doing that.
I like it a lot. When we were in New York, we were a couple of days at the same place, and so I was like little routine. There's a little coffee shop. There's a little restaurant. There's little the gym or whatever. Like, and when we were in Peru, it was the same thing. We spent a week at this amazing Airbnb, the Green Villa, right? I think in the Urubamba region, in Cusco.
Beautiful.
Of like about an hour and a half of Cusco in the mountains. But it was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been, but
No, but
I didn't
bucket
know
list.
I didn't know what Peru was. I didn't know what
They
I
are
didn't know
on the Andes Mountains, so it's similar to Colombia in so many ways.
It was very cool. It was amazing. And then we were in this little town. There was a bunch of I had the best pesto pasta in my life. And in this backyard of a house. They made the pasta, and it cost like, I don't know, like 25 soles or whatever, which is like $5. It was amazing. It was amazing. And this is the environment is very very important.
We spend so much time thinking, where do we want to live next?
Oh yeah,
We-
that's
we-
our thing.
Our thing is rent.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we are not ready for buying. I think that we enjoy more life just changing spots every single time.
Yeah.
It's usually 6 months.
a year.
Every 6 months.
We are thinking
Yeah.
to spend, let's say, no more than 2 years more in Miami as a main location. I mean, we have big plans for Miami, but we would like to.
And we know that we want to
explore
establish our
another
business
parts of the
here.
world
This
for
is,
sure.
but yeah, we want to move around. I think that we're excited to explore.
And also, what you were saying. It's super true. I mean, we are super picky in terms of choosing a house. it's like the most challenging thing that you
It's
can
hard,
do,
yeah.
because
It's such a commitment.
and for us, it's our office too.
For someone that likes to move around a lot, it's even to find the right one.
Yeah, it's hard for us.
We spend so much time at home. We work from home, so we really need to take into consideration a lot of things before moving. Because I will. Actually, I love to be at home. I'm not the kind of person who likes to go out. I like to go out on my motorcycle or on a trip like that, but I don't like to go out to a restaurant or a bar or something like that. I prefer to stay at home. So I need to be sure that I will be happy in my home. And sometimes that requires to spend a little bit more of money. But yeah.
It's an interesting if you're not happy at home, there's something going wildly wrong in your life.
Yeah.
I always think that, I mean, let's think about how buildings are built today. They are built for people to sleep, take a bath, maybe eat and go work, because we are like kettles. You know, like we spend so much time working that houses nowadays are super small, and they don't have like a library. They don't have like too many rooms for your personal enjoyment. They are just made for rest, take a shower, and then go. But for me, it's different because I spend so much time at home. I work from home. So I always like to have different
Change
spaces,
spaces,
100%.
to be able to, I don't know, maybe have a garden, a nice view. If my wife is working on the same room, I would like to change the rooms. Sometimes I need to do that. So it's like
The
most
spaces are
thing to do.
important. Yeah.
If you're home.
Do you get a lot of inspiration I'm guessing because you move so much from like
The
your
different-
environment, right? Like changing all your environment. So
100%.
you're probably inspired, especially with the work that you do. So your environment is
Yeah.
affecting all of that.
Absolutely. Like we definitely try to maximize like wherever we're moving, we try to explore and really understand like what our environment is. And like, I don't know, in terms of like photography and everything, like we use all of our spaces to, you know, the full, I mean, I think we could use them more actually.
We always
But
take
there's
our
a
home
million
as
different-
as an
there's-
advantage.
Yeah, but I think it's really important. And I think also, you know, for us, it's like we don't like having a lot of things. Like we're not like we're very, very light. Like
Uh-huh.
But if you
Ready
move
to
every
go.
6 months, you have
Yeah,
to.
no.
Actually, we rent furnished.
yeah, we do.
You
We
rent
rent
furnished?
furnished. Yeah.
and we just have the gear what we need for work and clothes. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, we do have
You-
we do have a storage, but the storage, and we every time we look at it, we're like, are we ever gonna need any of these things inside the storage?
It's so fun because we think that hey,
We stand there
we are
every
paying
time.
rent for these things that we don't need.
But it is tiny. It's a closet. It's a
yeah.
tiny closet. It's not like a big. No. It's like a it's a little thing. But
I feel I'm in this point of my life where I think to have belongings is to have
like a-
ties. Is to have
it's a weight.
that I don't want to carry with me right now.
It makes sense.
Especially for your lifestyle. I mean,
Yeah.
It makes sense because you were saying that you wanted to you like to rent because of the freedom, which makes sense because this is one of the big advantage when you're renting versus when you're buying, right? It's
Yeah.
because when you're also if you're gonna invest the money that you're gonna put towards down payment for a house, if you're gonna invest that money into the market or into some investment properties, then it's actually it makes more financial sense to rent than to buy because the house that you have, right? The house that you have, you're paying for the expenses.
Yeah.
So technically the money flows out of your account towards the house. So technically the house that you have is more of a liability than an asset.
Yeah.
If you look at specifically in terms of an investment. But so if you rent, the thing that you have is the cool thing is you have more freedom because you don't like this area,
You're out.
Yeah.
you're out. You can move very easy. If versus if you own, then you need to think about what do I do with the house, right? Do I need the money? Do I need the money to buy another one? Do I need this money to do something else?
Do I need to fix it? Do I need
to
how much do I
fix
need to
it?
invest in it?
We tend to underestimate. Is that the word?
Yeah.
The expenses that we need to put towards maintaining the place, right?
Of
because
course.
it costs a lot of money. And
And
then
buying
of
furniture.
course
Buying
buying
furniture.
those are super expensive.
I know.
And then when you rent, you more freedom. When you buy, you're locked in a little bit more towards this area. So you have to think about do I sell? Do I rent it out? I still need to think about those. I still need to manage. There's a bunch of things. So renting, of course, freedom more interesting, but you don't have the upside. You don't have the swing in the market. You don't have there's a cool thing with buying a home is it if you want to move around, renting is nice. It gives you the freedom. If you want to stay, if you want to anchor yourself somewhere, owning your home outright, having a little bit of money aside to that you have that makes money, and then so you can pay for your base expenses. Or this is fuck you money. When you're good, when you have your house, when you're okay with the money that you have a little bit money aside to pay for your taxes, to pay for your expenses. You can be very
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
To have something.
yeah.
It's very important. And I am. The funny thing is that in Colombia, old people, boomers, they always teach us that first you need to buy your house. It's the first thing you need to do in your life. If you don't have a house, what do you have?
Yeah.
And I grew up with that way of thinking.
The same thing in Canada.
And
Same.
I do appreciate that. I feel that I'm so grateful that my mom has a house because in Colombia it's hard. I mean, to buy a house is hard. I feel that everywhere else too, but in Colombia the economy is not as wealth as in America, for example. So we appreciate more that kind of things. So I'm grateful that my mom has. But for me, I want adventure. I want to live my life because I grew up in a world that it's supposed to, like over. Like the world is supposed to come to an end very soon. I don't think about that, but it feels like that. It feels like everything is going
Is
to
uncertain. Everything
trash.
feels.
That
Yeah.
the nature is it's dying. That everything is dying. That our reliable work is dying because our generation doesn't have that kind of work that our parents had. Uh, Everything is
It's
super different. It's
changing.
changing. So I want to live this life the way that I want,
Right.
not the way that
But
society
do you
tells
know
me.
what the cool thing about a lot of change and a lot of chaos is? There's a lot of opportunities
Of course.
when there's chaos.
I love chaos.
Yeah.
I love it.
Controlled
Guys like
chaos is actually
uncertainty.
very cool.
Yeah.
And when it's too much regulated, this is why when we implement, I think when we implement the government, it's just if we don't do, because I've been thinking about that a lot lately. What kind of person does it take to make the rules for the country? You know, what kind of
My
person does it take to actually think about all of the things that could happen, lay it out, and figure out the best set of rules for us to agree on and live together. And it's interesting because the set of rules for the U.S. is actually it's way better than in Canada. The incentive are better for the government. I think we're maybe at the end of a cycle where human nature. Because we're all little shitheads, right? And everyone has everyone we're all a little bit selfish. We're all a little bit self-centered, and I think we all have the degree of corruptible minds. You know, we
Sure,
all have this
absolutely.
degree of like, if we see it as a big advantage for us, and we don't see too much of a downside, we're all gonna, you know. But all of the levels are different, and I think when you put someone in power, when you put someone in a position of deciding, of power and influence, I think we're all going to be selfish on certain levels, and so what tends to happen is, like, let's say you have someone, right, you're in position that decide something. Well, at some point, when you start, everyone starts fresh, everyone starts with the best intention, but after a while, you get comfortable in your seats. You get comfortable, and you start to know how it works. You start to know, all right, so maybe if I do this, maybe I could do that, maybe, and then you start to maybe take advantage of the position that you have. So that's why terms limits are interesting, because you don't want someone to be there too long, right? Because with
For
power power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when you get more comfortable, then maybe you take a payout, maybe you take some shortcuts, maybe. And I think there's just a cycle of because how we are as human beings. I think it's just a cycle, and that we're kind of at the end of the cycle where it seems like it's most corrupt. It seems like it seems very very tight, very opaque. It seems to be a lot of fuckery going on with a lot of things, and I think it's just the way we're built. I think at some point, all of our organization are going to corrupt ourselves, and by the inside.
Yeah.
I feel like
I have a different point of view about that.
it's cool.
I feel that looking through history, I feel that we are on a very nice situation right now. I
course.
mean, we
Created the-
enjoy of a lot of rights, a lot of things that we earn or our ancestors earn, and we have a kind of equilibrium in the world. I mean, it's not easy, because we grew up with a lot of nice, like, I feel that a lot of people grew up on a nice environment, and when we look outside, we see corruption, we see madness, we see destruction, war. But if we take a look wider into what the world is and what humanity is, we are kind of trying to solve better the problems right now. Try to think that 100 years ago we were. It was after First World War, getting into the Second World War, and the world was so different, so violent. And right now
was a much
it's
darker place.
violent, it's corrupt, but it's super evident too because of social media, because of television, because of everything, because there is so much people doing their research about how things work, so it's more evident.
Yeah.
But I feel that we as
This is a good point.
humankind, we are working very, very hard, and I know people that are working like restlessly,
Yeah.
to find better ways to work as humanity. And
Yeah.
I feel what you said is it's totally true. I feel that people in power should be on power enough time to do something, to really know what they are doing, but not too much to start doing what their own will. And that's why we have institutions. And institutions are greater than men, and I kind of like that, because you try to change something, not too much because you can't because of the institution, but just enough to keep moving
The
the
dial moving.
humankind.
This is why it's not good when we lose trust in those institutions.
Absolutely.
When we see fuckery that they're doing. When you
Absolutely.
politicize the institution, then I think this is how it starts
Uh-huh.
to be
Totally.
to be very, very weird.
And sometimes it's good, but sometimes we go backwards.
Yeah.
I feel same as you as a single human being. It's the same for institutions. Sometimes institutions are ruled for very interesting people who are very progressive, and sometimes it's not. But the good thing about that is that the same way that some people change something for bad, the same thing happens when someone does.
No, because you're
good.
right. We have made a lot of progress in the last 100, 200 years. When you look at
We're so young.
Yeah, when we look at the child mortality numbers, when you look at absolute poverty numbers, when you look at even death from climate, everyone making the big deal that is climate change is going to be the end of us. But when you actually look at the data, the death from climate events are way down. Absolute poverty is way down. Child mortality is way down. Life expectancy is up. There is some issue with the food that we have here. I think there's some fuckery with the food. We're pushing way too much pills on people's for all of the problem that they might have, instead of looking at maybe the root cause of the problem. Maybe it's the food. Maybe they don't work out. Maybe they don't sleep good. There's a bunch of things that I think we need to switch the focus of like treating the problem and be more focused of like where the problem comes from. Because
Absolutely.
I think if you change those, one of my friend, we played football together in college, and now he's a psychiatrist, and he doesn't like the pills, right? Because when he evaluates a patient or whatever, the first thing that he does is like he's accounting for everything that they're doing now, right? And he says like, well, look, you're not eating well, you're not sleeping, you're drinking too much. You don't have those habits are destroying your life, basically.
Yeah, the chemicals in your body are fucked up.
You need to change those habits. Do that, right? Do that for a few months. Do that, and then we'll monitor how you feel. But the pills, you don't need the pills most likely. This is and we're too fast on putting a Band-Aid on the problem, I feel like.
Oh, and if you think, it's very funny because 50 years ago, when the food that we eat today came up, like the Green Revolution, they thought that that was the path, and that was the best thing to do, and it was a
Yeah.
very good idea. And
Yeah.
now we are trying to realize that, oh my God, maybe we fuck up a little bit. What can we do?
It's
But it's a
so
really
hard.
big business.
It's so hard to agree that maybe we made a mistake.
And it's such a good business that it's not easy just to destroy everything and
Yeah.
let's start from
Yeah.
zero again and let's
Yeah.
Cultivate everything.
'Cause
with no
there is
chemical.
real
It's hard.
challenges.
It's hard.
There is real challenges.
Real
Like, guys,
challenge.
I need to pee. Let's take a break.
Me too. I've shaped us, and then
Yeah, so talking about where you come from, and
Ready, go.
let's start there, maybe. Then.
I want to hear where my multi-ethnic partner come from.
where do I start?
With the short bleach hair,
Yeah.
with sunglasses.
Oh
How
yeah.
does that work? With
That
nose
is-
ring too.
Oh, my
Yeah.
I like your style.
When we start dating, there was a hater who
hater.
told us like, you are dating with a lesbian, and and it's so funny because it was
Yeah. So the joke is always that I'm
a rich lesbian,
the rich lesbian.
The rich lesbian.
The rich lesbian.
and our relationship is fake.
Really?
Yeah, but
How did that come from? Like, why the rich lesbian?
But-
The rich
Right.
lesbian look?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I mean, I am someone who identifies as queer for sure.
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
What does that mean?
So I identify as non-binary. I'm gender fluid.
Okay.
So, I kind of have always moved between like, different, just like my identity and my sexuality and
Right.
my gender identity has always been very fluid. I don't know.
Yeah, so sometimes.
So
I
you know
date with a dude.
you're a woman, right?
Well, I mean, it's not something that it's hard. I don't necessarily identify with like a lot of female like tropes, you know what I mean? Or
Okay.
like things that characterize
Like the way you
as
see yourself, kind of.
Yeah, it's hard.
Ah.
I have like I struggle with that a lot. Like I
Why do
feel
you
like I
think?
should well, I think that I think I know where it stems from maybe, but I mean to be completely
Where is
transparent. So I have struggled with like alopecia
What's
since alopecia is essentially it's an immunity disorder and you lose your hair.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
So is that a wig or?
It is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
but I'm really happy to talk about this because I think that I should talk about it more.
Me too. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like you, and then and then you come out like an hour after we, and like, oh shit, I didn't think that.
That's the story became interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
This is interesting.
alopecia. So you lose your hair.
Yeah, your body starts attacking itself essentially, and
But-
I started developing this when I was like 6 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
But how old are
So-
you now?
Oh. I'm 32.
32. Okay, so we're the same age. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I started losing my hair at a very young age. And, it would come back for some periods, and then it wouldn't. And I would always go through this, like, this heartbreaking kind of, I don't even know how to talk about it, actually. It's interesting. But going through this as a kid was really hard. And
yeah.
and growing up in,
What's the hardest thing?
I think growing up in a Colombian household and having the expectations, right? What is the vision of femininity? Like, we hold this like, my parents, my dad, or it's like, my daughter should be this, right? And
Because you
the
look very
dream.
different than the idea of, I guess, most people have from Colombian women. Very different.
Yeah. I'm not like this, vision. Like I don't carry myself in a certain like, it's.
We know the image.
We know the image. And I love it. It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
vibrant.
Yeah.
It's representative of, who we are.
But if it's not who you are, then fuck the image.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're always trying to live up, right, to that kind of, that model. That's what's been set for us. And I grew up in a very like, that was the thing. So that was really hard.
Okay.
And I know that that was really hard for my parents were very supportive, but I think my dad also really struggled with really accepting that I had this condition, that this was like a thing. So there was
the LOP,
alopecia.
Alopecia.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was having problem accepting that you had this. How does so what's the? Can you Google what's how do
she
like?
can probably explain, but I think your body has cells that they think are invasive, and so they're attacking it.
It
as if
attacks
was a
itself.
Oh, really?
virus. Is that right?
Huh.
Yeah, it attacks
How do
itself.
you develop that? Is that something that runs in your family?
No,
Immune.
so yeah, it's immunity disorder, and it is something that, I mean, what doctors have told me is that it's stress induced. So, yeah.
I experienced once that I started losing my hair.
Well, yeah, you guys. So he's gonna start right here.
because of stress.
Really?
When I used to live in Bogota, Bogota is a very stressful city, and I have a very stressful job. So yeah, that kind of things happens.
Why is it stressful? Is it because of crime?
When you live there, you don't think about that much. It's stressful because it's an expensive city. If you don't spend a lot of money, you will not live where you want to live. So you need to get a lot of money. I had a very stressful job. I am a cinematographer. I used to work as a cinematographer back in Colombia before the pandemic situation. There was a lot of pressure, economic pressure, professional pressure, friendship, family, blah, blah, blah. So I was super stressed, and I realized that I had no hair here.
You know what you need to do when when you have those kind of, you need to handle pressure more better.
I went on vacation.
Well, yeah,
and I healed. It was the funny thing. And I healed, and I realized that everything was on my mind.
Of course, it's all in your head.
That's
It's all,
all.
it's the pressure that you see, the pressure that you think the people at work puts on you. It's all in your head. It's all in your head.
Yeah.
So it's funny because we were talking about this last night. Because she's more she's like all in, all out, go,
It
and
doesn't
then
shut off.
and then
Always
she
thinking
needs
about
like
work.
vacation or whatever. It was like I was like, oh, I'm not like that at all. I'm like, I take vacation every day. When I don't have the sometimes I'm trying to do something and it doesn't. I cannot even focus. I'm like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
I'm the
that
same.
later.
Yeah. I'm the same.
I go for a walk. I go work out. I go like I change. I like to change also. Like I have problem sitting still, and I don't like to be in the same environment more than a few hours. So
Yeah, same.
sometimes I go to the office. I work there for a little bit, maybe an hour or two, and then I move, and then I go to I go to the coffee shop, and I go have lunch, and then I come back home. I always like to. I have
Change.
a very hard time staying at the same place more than a few hours. And for me, like the reset, when I'm in my car, it's kind of my alone time. I do my I'm on the phone a lot, but I do most of my follow ups when I'm in the car. Because most of the thing that I do for work is I talk because I negotiate deals on the phone most of the time, and but for me, when I actually, if I don't want to talk to you, I'm not gonna take your calls. I'm not gonna take your call, even if I'll deny. I'll forward the call to voicemail or whatever. But I'm gonna call. Like, let's say I have to talk to you. I'm like, oh fuck's sake! So I'm not taking the call now. Wait a few minutes. Get in the right mindset to have the discussion, and I'm gonna call you back. Right. But I think that's important. I think you need to do things on your own time. You need to figure out how to do, when you work for yourself.
When you work for yourself,
you need to do things on your own time when you're ready. So like, don't feel if you have someone or something that needs to get done, and don't let someone push it on you. Like, you have to do it, so fucking do it. But if you don't want to do it like right away, like maybe take 5 minutes, reset, and then go.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that when I started in real estate, that was very, very hard to learn. because everyone is calling you with stuff that you need to do and things that you needs to take care of, and clients are calling you with a lot of shit, and in the moment,
anytime.
yeah. Well, they're going to take what you give them, right? So if you answer your phone all time, every time during the day, or even super late at night, or if you answer calls, if you answer texts, if you answer email, if you answer on social media, they're going to reach you from wherever, right? But if you don't want to do that, it's very, very easy to you just don't answer, and then call back from the different thing that you want to different how to. Mindset. No, not the mindset. The avenue you want to, like. Let's say you don't want to answer texts. You prefer calls, and if the person texts you, then call them. If you don't want to talk that much on the phone, but you're more effective emails or texts or whatever, then calls you don't answer, and then you everyone has a different way that they prefer being reached. Being reached at, And I think that's that's something that you need to figure out for yourself, and it's going to make your life so much easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, your body is trying to kill you.
So my body's trying to kill me. Trust me.
You're struggling.
Yeah. Life is hard. So anyway, I've had to deal with that my whole life. And so my identity is always something that's been kind of in flux because, you're changing in front of the mirror all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's weird. It's very strange. And so that you're whatever the standard has been set for femininity is like, I'm never going to be that. Right. I don't think so. I don't feel that way. At least I don't feel that way.
Do you know what's funny though? I think you are a very feminine woman though.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, but I feel that what she's trying to say is not that she doesn't fit on those standards, but she's between.
Sure, yeah.
Those and other kind of standards.
I'm just kind of moving between. I don't look. It's silly for me. You know what I mean? Like I can't. It's hard to talk about because it's like it feels very strange to me or foreign. Like when
makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it feels strange to me too to hear those ideas because for me but I agree with you on most of the things that you see. I see your point. The changing in front of the mirror. I get that a lot because I think, but okay. So for me, life can be explained with math. Okay, so because if you think about it,
you're a formal thinking. I used to say that.
Well, but you can do a lot of things with math.
Tell me more.
That's the cool thing, because for me, gender is binary. So you have male and female, right? And then you have X chromosome and XY chromosome, and then that ends there. But everything in between is also very true, because it gets more complicated than that, right? Because everything else is built in between. So you're not only your chromosome, you're way more, right? It comes to that leads to the idea of like your soul, whatever. Like if you want to look at who you are. Thinking about who you are is interesting because are you your body? I don't think so. I don't think you're only your body. Right? I think for me, I'm kind of driving my own body, kind of. The idea of seeing it and seeing it evolve and kind of like being fluid in that sense in your mind, I agree with that. I see how that could work.
Yeah.
The problem that I have with a lot of the ideas that are taught lately about those is I think there's a lot of people that are unstable mentally that use those as kind of an excuse or kind of because there's a lot of attention that they're given to people like this right now, like people that claims to be like trans or or non-binary or whatever it is, people use this as like, look at me, how interesting I am, kind of. Do you see what I mean or no?
Um,
And I'm not saying this is your case at all. I'm just.
I mean, I think that there are things for everything, but I don't think making the choice to be trans or to not identify with your body is something that you would do would be an easy decision or something that you would do for attention. Because it's like, that's choosing to live like that's choosing to live in a really big struggle with yourself and like
And with others.
And with others, and like putting yourself in a position where like that's a I think saying that someone is doing it out of attention or a choice is like, it's hard because this person is choosing to live in suffering and to live against, and why would someone actively make that choice, right? And I think that the way that society has been structured and the models that we have for determining what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, and like how everything has been structured around that, like it's very problematic because it's making us try to fulfill these roles and expectations that aren't necessarily true to who we are. And so saying no to those things is okay.
That's
to not
true.
be that.
Sure. Yeah.
And so we're living in a moment where, I mean, people are feeling more empowered to say, I am not that. I don't need to be that. And I think that we need to honor that, because making the choice to say like, again, to say I am trans, or I don't feel like I feel like my body doesn't fit, or like my identity doesn't fit this. It's like, that's a really big thing to tell yourself. Fuck. So I think it's important to honor, all of the, what we say, and like, I don't know. I think that there's something there. I understand what you mean, because I think it comes back to the conversation that we have in terms of social media and like what we're experiencing today in terms of polarization and like, all the, there's just so much shit that's thrown at us all the time. But the reality is that there are so many realities.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
It's actually very cool that we get to talk about this, because I do like you, and I'm actually very curious about how you see it. Because it comes back to what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what's your perspective on this? And it's fascinating to see. And but for me, so I like stats too. Right.
Yeah.
I like stats. 'Cause there's some things that and if you look at generation, I don't know if it's because when you look at the who identify as like gay or trans or LGBT or whatever the acronym is now. I think there's too many things in the acronyms.
And queer.
Yeah. But if you look at the number of people that are identifying as those, you see a sharp increase through the generation.
Yeah.
And I think now 25% of Gen Z identify as LGBT, which I don't understand. So I don't know if it's because it's trendy a little bit more. I think maybe there's
explain a little bit,
yeah,
not all, but I would like to say something about that.
I'm like,
No. I feel, to start from the beginning, I feel that mathematics are just a representation of reality. Reality is so much rich than mathematics, but it's so cool because it gives us a way to understand the world. So
it's a way to explain what's going on. So this is why math is interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting because if you look at surface, if you look at everything that we're doing, you can always explain it with math.
And I would like to say too about those stats that I used to read a lot that la juventud, ser joven y no ser revolucionario es una contradicción hasta biológica. How
To
do
be
you-
young and to not be revolutionary is almost
biological contradiction.
a biological contradiction.
makes
That's
sense.
what
Uh-huh.
a really good Latin American poet said a couple
Yeah.
of decades before, and I really like that phrase because it represents how do you feel when you're young.
Yeah.
You want to challenge every
Yeah.
single sign of authority,
Yeah.
and I feel that how do you say machismo in English? I forgot the word.
Misogyny.
No, misogyny.
No,
no.
like
Well, let's say that.
Say it in Spanish.
Let's say that men-ruled societies are kind of
Patriarchal,
dying.
yeah.
Patriarchal
Yeah.
behavior are dying, and it's kind of the things that we identify as a problem because there was a bunch of old guys feeling that we are so machos and we can make decisions for everyone and if you're gay, if you're whatever, we are going to kill you. And it's a kind of annoying, and I feel that that feeling it's super stick to Gen Z, and you can explain that people is not identifying as as the regular male
Male model kind
male
of.
model kind of.
the patriarchy.
Actually, I would like to say that without saying that I'm gay, I don't identify myself as as a complete macho. Sometimes I use that. I like to be like a real man. Like I have my big truck and stuff. But I prefer that people who are around me identify me as a sensitive guy, as
You're super queer.
I'm super queer. And,
Yeah.
I can talk about a man as
Yeah, like someone's anyone's beauty.
because I feel that you are super constrict of because all this culture that tells you must behave like this. And I don't want
Exactly.
to. I
Okay.
don't want to. So
you-
I'm ruined by some of those models.
Right.
But I prefer to make my own choices.
I agree. I agree. But it's interesting because so if I understand correctly, the idea of like a woman or a man or masculine women or feminine women for you you feel
Constricting.
restrained in these ideas.
Exactly.
Huh,
And
okay.
that kind of
We are in flux. I feel
Exactly, we're
between
fluid.
societies, between societies, and I think that the society of the future is more oriented through I don't know, maybe people's emotions. We will be more we will worry more about people's health care.
about our humanity and its
mental health care
yeah.
and things like that. So I feel that this model about being super feminine or super
What it
man,
means to be a woman. What
Yeah.
it means to be like
they are these things are transforming. They are
Transforming.
transforming. So I feel that the confusion is there because we are on a society that tells you there is evil and there is good and nothing in between. Like
And it's
the,
a
the two opposites.
spectrum.
So you sometimes you feel or I am a Superman or I'm super gay. And that's a confusion. You can be in between,
Yeah.
just like me, without all that confusion. But it takes a long time and a long journey to realize what you are, what are your tastes, how do you feel comfortable with other genders or other people? How do you like sex? How do you like women? How do you
Right.
like men? How do you like friends? And it
How do you
takes a
like
lot
yourself?
of time. So I think that it's understandable that Gen Z has those numbers. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a very good thing because society is changing, and I'm super.
Well, also the definition expanded, so I guess it makes sense that the more you expand the definition of what of the not conformist, but it makes sense that the proverb that you said earlier. I don't know if you knew that, but I learned this a while back, a few months ago, I think. It's we're genetically programmed, especially men, to revolt against everything that our parents stands for when we get to
Adolescence?
to adolescence, and then up
That's
until
the
I think
thing.
25, mid 20s, so 15 to like for that 10-year period, we're actually wired to reject everything that our parents stands for, and then that's it's because we're built to prevent incest.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's especially for boys. Especially for boys, because if you think about it, if it makes sense, because the boy you could make babies with your mother, with your sister, with your cousin. You can do it. You know, physically you can.
Physically.
You can do it, but it's just not good.
No, but yeah, no, but
But also talking from a society perspective, we do that in order to. I mean, that's a sign of, let's say, theory of evolution in humankind, because we need to advance just enough to make the step, but not too far. That's why we are not revolutionary when we are 40s. We are super conservative people. The more old people are, the more conservative tend to be.
That's true.
It's not completely like that, but it's a kind of
it's true.
kind of rule.
But also, it makes sense, because when you're younger, then you think you know a lot of things. Then you realize, like, oh, okay, you don't know. I've seen the evolution that we had, that I personally had in business and even in real estate and in my life. I like myself much better now than even a few years ago. Even last year, I showed her the progress that I've made since I met her, and it's wild. It's the you want to see the effect that she has on me. Like, look at this shit.
It's a beautiful thing of being on our 30s. We are starting being proud about what we
It's
are.
actually very cool. So this was me last year, and then if you swipe, that's like last week.
Oh, bro.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are putting some effort in this.
good job.
It's a big difference, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's cool to be able to improve. It's cool to be able to know, like, you need to be aware that you can be so much more than who you are now. And I agree with all of this. This is why it's so cool so interesting to have your perspective on the whole thing. Because one of my best friend is super gay. And I love this guy. And now he's it's my friend Kevin. We come from the same area in Beauce in Quebec. It's a small region. A lot of entrepreneurs. It used to be a lot of badass person. It still is, but he moved to Mexico last year. He moved to the west coast of Mexico last year, and then he's developing land right now. Yeah. So this is what I do. This school is very interesting, because he's developing. He's selling project now. He's selling smaller projects, so homes, vacation home, triplex, like small investment. But he told me where he wanted to go with this, and that's aligned very well with what I'm trying to do, because he there's a lot of those big heavy industrial plant like Volkswagen, like the big manufacturing plant, right? I'm sure you heard in the last few years that a lot of those plants moved to Mexico for manufacturing, right? This is called heavy industrial. So he's in the area where most of those are moving. So this is very cool, because when heavy industrial move to an area, then it takes a while, but in the next 10, 15 years, 20 years, whatever, so those companies, those big companies, are going to need workers, they're going to need services, they're going to need light industrial companies to service those companies, right? Because you have the heavy that they produce the things that we use, cars, planes, whatever. And then the light industrial, usually it's the services for the heavy industrial, for the industries. So then what happened is those industries move somewhere, then it creates opportunities for the light industrial, then people move there, so there's opportunity for residential development, and then for retail too, because they need they need to
Of course.
to buy
Yeah.
some stuff, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so this is cool when heavy industrial move somewhere, then it creates all of those ripple effect of opportunities in land development. And then this is what I do, and this is what I like to do. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
But how's your relationship with your family now?
Oh no, I have a great relationship with my
Yeah?
family.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I feel I love my family so much, and honestly, I think we've learned a lot throughout the journey.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
What's the most important thing you learned? Do you think so?
the most important thing?
Or
I
maybe that your
learned?
dad learned, and because
I mean, I don't think we've had this conversation
Maybe you
per
should.
se.
it'd be an interesting one to have, right? Because
Yeah.
you're saying your relationship with them are great now, right?
Yeah, and
it's-
we've had a great relationship. I think it's just like this thing. Okay, so going back to the topic, it's just like, how do you handle that as a parent?
Right.
When your upbringing and like these are the expectations and these are the things. How do you handle a child who's like dealing with all of these struggles? You're dealing with it yourself because you had a dream and you envision your kid to be something. And so, growing up with that, so that was the thing. And I think today, after, so many conversations and so many, I don't know, and just seeing who I am and how I've developed, I think they did everything that they could, and they're supportive. And I think that my dad today, it's not something that we talk about much. I think I do keep this topic a lot to myself.
Why do you feel you need to keep it to yourself though?
I don't know. I think I feel a lot of shame around it.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
I do. It's painful. It's hard.
Is it because of like reactions that you have? Like, is it because
Because you feel like you need to put on a mask before you
yeah.
leave the house every day, or before you feel like
And see, it's the cool
We
thing
have
with
this
you is I
conversation
don't.
all the time.
Yeah,
And I don't get a mask from you at
Yeah,
all.
me
The
neither.
second you walked in, I was like,
I was
Oh,
like, yeah,
she's
I like her.
gorgeous.
As
She's
soon
got a
as soon as I saw you get out of the truck and you gave me the hug, and then he was there
Yeah.
too, and then
She's very
kind of
authentic.
yeah,
You can-
very
you can
very.
tell
very-
that.
I
Very
didn't
much
feel
so.
that way at all.
I felt
So
at ease. Like
very
the
interesting.
moment
Yeah.
you came in, I was very much at ease, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
this
she's
is why
very true to
I
herself.
feel comfortable like talking to
Yeah.
you about those, because
Same.
it's a subject, it's a heavy subject.
it is.
Right?
And we
It's
were
a-
talking about it last night.
and,
kind of.
and I'm sorry if I did like something that
No.
made you feel uncomfortable
Oh
or
my
whatever.
God.
But like,
No. You know what? I really, and I have to apologize if me talking about this is a little scattered, because it's like, it's not something that I usually talk about,
Yeah.
right? In public in this
Yeah.
way. And like,
not in public, we're just together.
it's just us. No. But, I actually, I feel really grateful for this moment to be able to talk about it. It's
Well, it's-
messy. It's like,
Appreciate you sharing. Yeah.
and I think that more people should talk about it, because
But when you try to organize your thought, it's always messy at first.
yeah, especially when it's something so like personal and you're literally working through every day. Like
you write?
I
You right?
do.
Yeah?
I do. I not as much as I was, but I would journal every day. But
What do you write about?
what do I write about? I do free writing. So just like
What does that mean?
Whatever you're thinking.
Exactly.
Could be on
Just
any
blast
topic, and
blast it in the morning. That was like my morning routine. I would get up, I would go work out, come back, have coffee, and then just like free write. And anything that was coming up in my mind, just like
Just all of your thought, you write them.
anything.
get it out.
Yeah. And it was really good for me.
Never done
for
that.
It's interesting. It's interesting. And sometimes like, I like going back recently actually, but like, but sometimes it's really fucked up. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell was happening here?
What was I thinking?
What the fuck was I
Yeah.
thinking? Recently, I actually threw out my journal.
Oh my god!
I threw it
Why
away.
did you do that?
Because I just didn't. I was like, this doesn't resonate with me anymore.
Well, you feel like you
You need-
released
it's
it.
a
and you're like,
release.
okay, there it is, and now I'm moving.
I tossed.
forward.
I put it. No,
New chapter.
no.
But do you know
wow.
we
Done.
we were talking about earlier how it's really
Never.
hard to agree to disagree lately,
Uh-huh.
and I think I know the reason. I think people are too attached to their ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Yeah.
feel like it's yours.
Well, you have to.
You
You
feel like
want to
it's
defend it.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
well, yeah, but then I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. I think it's just ideas.
Well-
I don't think you're you're all of your ideas. I think about a lot of crazy shit.
I think
We
you
disagree
should.
a little bit.
I think that you should leave your door slightly open to new ideas,
Sure.
but not completely open. Because you leave it completely open, you will be changing your thoughts every single time, and you will never be able to start a project, for example. But if you close it completely, you will be always the same, and people will forget you very soon because you are the same.
Yeah.
It's like you want to
Always.
hold your hold your values. Like
Yeah.
that's your core, right? And you're making decisions based off of that and having an open mind
Yeah.
to maybe I could look at this a little differently than I thought or
And the
maybe I'm
world
not
is
getting the whole picture.
changing. So it's
Yeah.
like everything, it's susceptible to everything that's
Yeah.
happening around it. So you can't be married to an idea. And then it's like, is it, you have to ask yourself, is this still relevant?
Fair.
Like,
You need to enrich your point of view.
yes, exactly.
How does this affect, like, because we've got to learn a little bit about both of you and, like, who you are
Mm-hmm.
now, right? How does this affect the way you build stories or see stories? Because that's essentially what you...
Before we
Oh.
go and
Okay, break.
Oh, break.
we're back. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go back to the story question, but while we were on a quick break, you mentioned traveling by motorcycle through Colombia.
Oh, cool.
Mm.
So tell us more.
No, what happened was that during the pandemic situation, I lost all my jobs, because everything was canceled. So I came back to my mother's house to see, okay, what should I do with my life now? What if nothing goes back to goes back to
Normal.
normal?
Because this
again?
industry was hit really hard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought that, okay, maybe now it's time for an adventure. And I thought with a group of friends about a project who would take us on a ride through Colombia on motorcycle. So we talked with
Did you do it?
with some brands. We talked with Ducati. So we got
Oh, no way.
some Ducati motorcycles. We talk with another brands. We talk with a brand called Claro, that is like AT&T here, and all of those guys were paying us for doing that kind of content. So the thing was that I was a kind of influencer. I don't have the followers, but I was a kind of influencer. But the thing is that I was showing up on the platforms of my clients, not my own platform.
Okay.
So I was filming myself with my friends. I was trying to this is the weirdest job ever. Like, yo guys, what's the guy? We're here and we're now in Medellin, and the signal is so strong here.
No?
You do it really well, though.
And that was my first
did you feel doing
experience in
that?
front of the camera.
How did you feel doing that?
Oh, that's right, because we were talking about how you felt in front of the camera.
I felt
Horrible,
stupid.
Yeah.
I felt stupid. I felt that I had nothing to say, nothing that really matters. And sometimes I have this struggle with social media because I feel that we spend so much time on it. I don't blame it. It's cool because it's meant to be like that. It's engaging. But what I don't like is we are spending so much time on garbage. And when I had that job, I was thinking, how can I make this a little bit interesting? How can I give people something to think? And it was so hard. But most of the time I feel like, why I'm talking to a phone? What I'm doing this? But then I realized that I was traveling to Colombia and we were inspiring people to travel. And what happened then is that Ducati started selling a lot of motorcycles in Colombia, and people on our community start saying like, hey, we spend a lot of money to go to Europe by the end of the year. or something like that. Why we don't spend money on a motorcycle and start traveling here in our own country and meet our country more and I think that it was a really nice campaign.
We don't do that
for those
enough,
guys.
no? Exploring like right here,
Yeah.
what we have to see.
And when I came here, I wanted to do that in the States. I actually have the project. I bought my motorcycle. I have my Ducati at home. I have my I have this big project. Actually, I bought that truck. I bought
That
the
we
truck
can put that bike.
so we can put the bike in the trunk. Or or a camping tent, and just start traveling around the States.
Around the States?
Because we feel
That's the dream.
that you need get more in contact with I feel reality, because cities are not reality.
Yeah.
Cities are an illusion of how life is, but the truth or the reality is it's on the mountains, on the on the fields, it's outside on the river. It's with the people who lives there, and I love to experience that. So it was a really nice project because it was trying to make other people see how lucky we are to living on this thing called Earth, and we should go more outside.
Yeah, you're more in touch with the natural elements. You're getting to challenge yourself in a new environment and you're not enclosed in a box, right?
No, and it was real. I mean, it was a real adventure. It was a real journey for you guys.
We were sleeping on tents, on camping tents. We were cooking with pit fires. It was madness. It was like the best
It was
trip
amazing.
ever. I would love to do that. And we did that for, I think it was 2 months. 2 months without touching
time.
your bed. Like,
Yeah.
it was great.
You know what's funny?
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, always wanted to do a trip like that across the U.S. on a motorcycle.
We've been talking about it.
So let me.
We will do it.
Yeah, we've looked at the routes. We've mapped it out.
Up the roads.
It's-
We will find the right partners to
make it
work.
happen.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Please include us.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Extremely
absolutely.
interested.
Great. Actually,
Yeah.
it is pretty good because when you do that kind of projects, you need to go to some brand and tell them, for example, let's say Coleman. The tents. Are you
The Coleman tents.
Coleman
yeah.
tent, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You go to Coleman and you say, hey, I saw your webpage, I saw your social media, and I think that you are the perfect brand to sponsor this trip, and I have these people, these guys, and
This
let
is
me
our
send you a
proposal.
picture."
Our team, yeah.
So you, at the end of the day, you are like a model, like you are like an actor. So it's cool to have not just two people. That kind of project is super strong when you
When you have a team,
have a
yeah.
team, and that's the kind of things that
And it's an
we are
authentic- it's
lacking
an,
of.
like-
That's what. Yeah, I was gonna say. So you mentioned you're an actor, but you're also doing something that is very true to what you enjoy doing, and you're just getting to share that with
Yeah.
with everyone else. And the brands are obviously helping make that a reality.
Beautiful.
And it's not even you're not even acting. It's like
Yeah,
I mean
exactly.
it's truly it's authentic.
Yeah.
Like I mean, and that's the magic of it.
Yeah.
Like yeah, and I think those also
That's why you need to think. Okay, I need some guy who is in charge of survival things. So you need an expert on that.
I
survival.
got one of those.
But then you need a guy who actually knows how a motorcycle works, because you will have a flat tire, you will have
Could help with that.
problems with that. So, but then you will need someone, for example, who really it's a good who talks very well in front of the camera. But then you need a girl because bro, riding motorcycle is not just for guys. That
Yeah.
that mindset up for that it's super old. So
Do you
you need
ride?
to
Yeah. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I've been riding since like 2010 or 11.
Really?
Yes.
Ah!
Yeah.
Okay, we
We'll
need
get along.
Okay,
we need to
yeah.
bond.
We
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
So So
No,
yeah.
it's this is why I've been saying like
And,
if you want to do that.
We're game.
Let me say something else because the way that we work is related to that, and the way that I want to tie these two subjects is that we are always seeking for projects that represents our points of view,
Yeah.
our beliefs. So this is one of our beliefs, and we should start to say that our business is a human-centric business. So we are always trying to see how to improve our relationship between human beings and nature.
That's correct. Yeah. I think that's the core of our company too, having that sense of consciousness in our collaborations, in the eye, the perspective. That's really key. I know you were asking earlier.
We went down a bunch of rabbit holes.
No, but it's all related. It's
yeah.
all related in how we work. I mean, how we work is really important, but like I think in our experiences in life, it's like in our struggles, and like I think that there's this sensitivity to nuance, to the complexities of human beings, of relationships, and to really want to seek like to understand the curiosity for the other person and for their experience. That's the eye that you're moving with. So you're looking to people and you're like, okay, like I want to hear about you, about your story, and I want to learn about you. Like, and I think that I've always moved that way. Like I don't like talking about myself. I want to hear about, I really want to understand you and like where you're coming from. And like, I think with our company, it's like, that's what we really want to understand and get to know people.
And how to represent
Yes.
through images what our clients are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
this is why I liked it so much. Well, how we did the shoot the other day, because
Can
I
you
don't.
explain a little bit what you guys did?
Yeah,
Mm.
well, we did. We did a video shoot for Engel Vokers Miami because we're targeting the new development project in the city and in South Florida. We have the cool thing with Engel Vokers here is that out of most major brokerage in South Florida, we are the biggest one with the most international reach. And then so for new developments, it's a real opportunity for us to get busy in that market, because we do have a big network of clients internationally, and Miami is a city where a lot of people from a lot of different countries want to have something and want to invest in, and new development is interesting for that, because like we said, when you buy on spec, right, when you buy from the developer, then it takes a few years usually before the project is built. So usually there's a nice appreciation on the property that you have. So it could be a good investment. It could be a good portfolio investment. Or if you just want to have something, then you have the ability to put a down payment, then finance the acquisition with your bank, and then you'll have a nice appreciation when it's actually done building, right? So you can resell, you can rent, you can live in, you can do a bunch of things. But yeah, it's a cool opportunity for investors, for people outside of Miami to come in, get their feet wet, and it's a good opportunity for us because we do have this reach internationally. And then the reason why I liked it so much is because we were not unscripted. We had the ideas of what we wanted to do, and we were just talking about it. And then it was, you guys took whatever worked, and you showed me the video, and I think it looks very good. I think it looks very good. It looks natural. It looks. It's actually what I think about the place, what I think about this, the thing that we discussed, and this is why I thought it was very cool how we did it. Yeah.
So for example, with this video, we try to be at the edge of like commercial stuff and real content. So we try to start with some I think it's sticky words like or sticky
The art of living.
statements.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god!
But that came in. That just came in.
No,
Yeah.
but
That was
that's super
great.
good. So we
Yeah.
try to at the beginning, the first part of the video, it's super engaging because you are seeing all this beautiful image about Miami, and then it's Olivier talking about all the beautiful things that Miami has to offer, and all the start with this is why Miami is called the Magic City, which I realized a couple of weeks before. And when you said that, I thought, yeah, okay, this is the Magic City. We should start from that. So the idea of our work, it's trying to be at the edge of the commercial work and the intersection with the artistic work.
Yeah.
So we try to mix it up. And we try to do as good as we
Feels more
can.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to really feel conscious about like our environment, where we're working, like what does it mean to make work in Miami, right? And like what are the struggles that the city's going through? What are the experiences that are running through the city? I mean, we're new to the city. I mean, we really moved here like a year and a half. But yeah,
And we
like-
really try to be up to date
Yeah.
with the problematics about the city.
Yeah, and the struggles. I mean, and going back to like also our lifestyle too. It's like having being able to move in Miami, like having enough money to be able to pay enough to like move anywhere is really fucking expensive. Like it's the down payment that you have to have, like the deposit, everything. Like it's really it's the housing crisis is a real thing, especially for people here. So, I mean, we're constantly toggling like all of these different topics and struggles, and we're really curious to really explore them. Like, I mean, we move our business in terms of like we do photography and we do videography and we do offer all these services and we have all these clients. But like our dreams, like we really want to produce work that is like really connected with this city, and we want to explore, right? And we want to document and have something like have something to offer for this community, right?
Would you be interested in doing documentary work or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we actually we have
100%.
been thinking about a project about Miami,
Yeah.
about how to rescue the good values of Miami, because sometimes we are all new for the city, and we think that the city is just like luxury, like beaches, like fancy
It's not all
restaurants.
that.
But it's
not
What
all
is the
that.
essence of this city?
Yeah.
The
There's
people
a
who are
lot
living
of
here.
super interesting,
Yeah, like
artistically.
Culture,
So
yeah,
many
culturally,
things.
everything.
Culturally, it's a very
Yeah.
interesting place.
absolutely. I
It's
mean, there's
very
so much.
The Latin America,
70% of the population of the city is Latin American.
yeah. When I lived
Insane.
in Edgewater, it was wild because everyone was either new and spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
The default
Yeah.
the default of everybody was like Spanish.
Well, okay, so we used to live in Fort Lauderdale, and by summer there are just Canadians.
Yeah, so it was Canada.
Right?
From now until April.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Canadians.
There's a lot of Canadians.
Yeah.
Did you know that Canadians owns, I think in Florida it's like 800,000 homes or properties or whatever. It's a lot of fucking properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
and
Canadians.
most are Quebecers. Yeah.
Okay.
It's only 3.5 hours from here.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually
Interesting.
you have a
feel
lot of the business owner, a lot of people that are
makes sense.
doing well. They're coming here doing their winter because it's awful right now in Canada.
Yeah.
And in Montreal it's disgusting. November in Montreal is disgusting.
Really?
There's nothing good happening in November in Montreal. Nothing.
But what makes Miami so interesting is
Miami is a nice
all
escape for the
the
people who
different
lives in the north.
perspectives.
And then the cool thing is the weather just keep getting nicer.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting nice.
Just keep getting nicer.
Miami has this strategic location that should be the envy of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from Colombia. We have all the year the same weather. And if you go to Cartagena, which is an amazing city, it's beautiful. The food is delicious. The ocean, it's beautiful. I would say that it's breathtaking. But all the year, it's like Miami in summer, on summer.
Oof.
very hot.
Very hot.
Very hot. But here, the weather gets better after.
Yeah, it
so
does
it's
get better. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and it's not as north to be a bad weather. It's just the right point
Yeah.
to be a truly amazing city. I love
Yeah.
Miami. I can't say just a few bad things about Miami, and that's it. Everything else I really like.
There's a little bit of traffic.
Yeah.
There's some okay, when it rains, it gets complicated.
There's a couple of crazy
Yeah.
people around.
But
That's
you
true.
know, yeah, the wildness too of the place is to me is fascinating.
But it feels like something that really struck me when I moved to the city is like, I think just because of, all of, culturally, just the way that Latinas are, right?
Yeah.
But like the support system, like people are very supportive and they want to help you. Like, I don't know, it's very familial, right?
Yes.
And like,
I agree.
that struck me because I moved to this city with like no one really, like I didn't know anyone, and I felt very lucky. When I started my job, I moved here for an internship, and then I started at a theater company here, and it's run by a Venezuelan artistic director.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he's incredible, Michelle Hausman. Love him. And and most of the people who work there, if not pretty much everyone, is like either Cuban, Venezuelan, from Salvador. Yeah. And all of these people, I feel like really like came through and supported me in so many different ways. Like in terms of my housing and this and the other, and like what do you need? What do you need?
Such strong values and very
Supportive.
community driven.
Yeah.
I
It's
cried
incredible.
a
Yeah.
lot because because it's so hard to move. But I cried a lot just thinking how lucky I was to meet all these people here in Miami that were supportive with me, and now I start thinking about that and I feel, oh my God, what happened if I had no contact with all those people. I can tell you there was people who told me, like, I know that banks are not going to borrow you money, but if you need to buy a car, take this money. Just go because you need to solve this problem, and you need a coach. You can go to my home, and like Latin people are so warm.
Yeah.
And
People
I like
come
that about
through.
Miami.
Like it's
People-
pretty.
People are here in Miami. They can not eat
everyone's, like,
to
in your
give
corner.
you to give
Uh-huh.
you to give you
I
their
agree.
food.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
can sacrifice their food to give to you, and that's beautiful.
It's funny. It's funny because it's totally different than the idea that I think most people have from the city, from Miami. No.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's very, very. When this
And
is
it's
what
the other
this
face
is
of
what I
Miami.
this is what I feel like we had a good we represented good. I think not just like beachfront mansion and nightclubs and and beaches. This is what we were saying on the shoot. Is there's so much more to this place than just those. And
I think that's what that's why I love Miami. I think it's the people. Like I at the end of the day, it's that.
It's a contradiction because there is a lot of.
There's a mix.
There's a mix.
Yeah, but it's like everywhere. But
Yeah.
it's like
There's a lot of I would like to say that fake people here too.
oh yeah,
Oh,
there's a lot
yeah.
of purple Lamborghinis here.
Yeah.
there's too many purple Lamborghinis here. No, there's a lot of bullshit. Like, of course, that's another reality.
There's a lot of purple Lamborghinis that people rented for a few days.
Yeah.
and-
And that's, I feel, it's a little bit fun.
Yeah, but
It's a part of it, but
it's also part of the performance. It's a part of the show.
It's part of the show.
It's a part of the
It's
show.
just- yeah. No, but this is true though. This is true. This is why I think to be aware of your of what it is, the all of the aspect of what it is important.
Yeah.
And
and to keep in mind, like, there's like the outward facing, like we want people to come in, right? The tourism and like, all of the, and travelers, but keeping in mind like the people who actually inhabit and make this city, like live this city, make this city
And
every
how we
day.
honor that.
And how we honor that, because it's very, I think what gets lost is like the vision that we sell to the world to come here. But what about the people who are actually here and living it and making sure that we're making the best for all of us?
And behind all the good stuff of the city, there's a lot of Latin American like mamas working really hard to make it work. Like to make this a clean city, to make the food good, and there's a lot of people who are sacrificing.
They're sacrificing so much to be here.
Yeah.
We should.
Because it's surprisingly clean for a big city.
Oh, it's
It's very clean.
I lived in LA for 10 years, 11
Really?
years. Yeah.
How'd you
How'd you like
that?
that?
I loved LA. I love LA. I call LA home. Like
Okay.
I feel like an Angelino for sure. But I know that like throughout the years, especially post-pandemic, like during the pandemic,
You guys went nuts during the pandemic.
it was really hard. It was really hard, and I think the city suffered a lot. And I think
shit.
the housing crisis, and it's something that the city is struggling tremendously, and the unhoused, and like the lack of resources, and there's a lot of corruption as well.
Yep.
And, like it's a mess.
It's a
And
mess.
And the city, I was there this summer, so. But I think that the city looks like it's suffering a bit. It really does. And it like
we need to realize that the policy we vote for have consequences sometimes. And sometimes it takes a while to feel those consequences. I feel like, and it's the same thing in Montreal, the same thing in Canada. I think we went way, way too far on this socialist side. I think we need to take more accountability and more responsibility for the rights that we claim that we have, because those rights comes with some duty as well. We need to start talking more about duties.
the civic. There's the responsibility and the sense of civic responsibility, and I think that's really important to keep that in mind. And again, I also think that the corruption. There's the city suffering a lot too.
Yep.
And
this is what happened when you put all of the resources in the hands of the government. When it's too concentrated, right? Then people know where the money is, and it's right there. And then you just need to infiltrate those to be able to have your hands on it. And I think that's how the circle of corruption keeps growing and growing and growing. And it's the same.
Interesting point of view.
Yeah. Yeah, when resources
but I
are
feel that we
concentrated,
also need institutions, and we need social programs and stuff.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
But we also feel that too much social problem, too much social programs take the willing for work from people. So we need to be on a balance between work and
also I
social
think
wellness.
I think the government should act more as a general contractor than actually doing the work itself. I feel like because it needs to put the rules in place. It needs to set up the rules, right? And it needs to give incentive. It needs to give the right incentive. Now we have a lot of the wrong incentive.
But that doesn't necessarily works, because if you see Colombia, we have been living in a country which is super neoliberal. Which everything is subcontracted, and the government tries to be as far as they can from people. So the healthcare system, everything is subcontracted, and there's a lot of corruption.
Broken. The amount of corruption.
The corruption is on the highest levels ever, because private entities, the government don't know what private entities does with the money, and it's harder to track that. And I just feel that our problem as humankind is corruption more than any
human
system.
nature.
Yeah, and so how can we be sure about how we spend money?
Right. Right.
It's
Do you,
hard.
do you know a system that I was? Are you aware of how this Sweden? No, not Sweden. In Switzerland. Are you aware of how they are organizing the taxes and the government over there, or no?
Like to some degree, but
I just have one thought, and I know that those guys spend almost 10% of the overall spends on social investigation. So those guys really knows what people needs, because they spend a lot of money trying to do some research of what is this country about, what is this people, how can I give wellness to my country. So that gives you a better idea on how to spend money.
I was not aware of that. That's interesting. But what I was referring to is and no, maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I've heard. And to me, it kind of makes a lot of sense. So the way I understand how it's going over there is the city, right? The taxes and the services are done at the city level, right? So the federal and the state government, they're not doing too much. So the city is actually the one that's going to manage schools, going to manage hospitals, going to manage the roads, all of the infrastructure. So the cities are actually taxing the citizen to handle everything that's on the city, that's inside the city.
Yeah,
very local, very.
It's easier to track.
Yes. I think it's much easier to make sense of it. And then that allows competition between cities, right? Because let's say Miami, there's 20% taxes in Miami, and then in Fort Lauderdale there's 50% taxes in Fort Lauderdale because they can't do it with they need more programs or whatever. Then maybe the people that want more program or whatever, then they're willing to pay 50% because they think that there's a lot of value. Then they can move to Fort Lauderdale. If you want to live in Miami, then you have a little bit less services, but then you pay less tax, right? Then maybe those services are given by private companies and whatnot. But it's closer to the people that are getting the services. So I think this is a very interesting way to look at this and to structure the whole thing, because you always want to create competition, because if you create competition, then you allow people to actually choose what solution they like most.
Yep.
And there's incentive to the people in charge to actually make it work with better, be better, because they know that if they don't, then you have other options, right? How cool would that be to have those options, to be like, okay, like I don't like how they're handling the taxes over here. Let me just move 15 minutes away, and then the whole system, the whole thing is different. Like I pay 10% less in tax 20 minutes away or whatever. Like how interesting would that be?
that is interesting. And I think like the sense of like control that you have, right?
Yeah.
Like over
Yeah.
over your money, over your I guess it gives you a more sense of influence and like impact.
Oh, yeah.
It feels more
It's very real.
It's very That's you feel more connected.
Yeah.
And in control.
Very
I
real.
think it's interesting.
And also for the people in charge, like and for the community. I think it might be interesting because you're actually like, okay, like we have 7 schools in the district or whatever, and then we finance those 7 schools with the taxes that we pay, and then for me, the government should not provide directly any services. I don't think. I think it should set the rules, and then the company and then private companies should provide the service. But just because we have when it's private, we have the incentive to make it work, and the government doesn't have the incentive to make it work.
I think that's a little bit dangerous, though. I think that, again, like when you privatize those kinds of services, like I think it comes back to what we were talking about, right? Like the selfish kind of like...
You are turning essential services to business.
To businesses. And when you privatize that and you have all of those special interests, then, I mean, that
there's a lot of room there for corruption.
The problem,
for-
But that doesn't mean either
But that's not happening now?
That the government will not do that.
Yeah.
So,
Of course, no,
I
it doesn't
think that-
guarantee it. But at the same
I
time,
would
it's
like
like,
to say
yeah.
that there is a guy that solved this problem. I think maybe 200 years ago. It's called Robert Mitchell's. It's a sociologist.
Robert Mitchell.
He's not officially a sociologist, but let's say that he's a social theorist. And he has this theory that says it's called La Ley de Hierro de la Oligarquía. I know the name in Spanish. Let's say that in English will be like the iron law of oligarchy.
Of the oligarchy,
Of the oligarchy.
Okay.
And what it says is when you have a group of people that it's big enough to make everyone do different labors. I mean, we have the hunters, we have the farmers, then we have the guy who makes the shoes and stuff. So we need to divide our works. When that happens, there is another class that born, and it's called the politicians, because you need some group of people who handles the politics. And what that happened when that happened, it's super hard to make those guys live through the experience of the people, because they are more focused on power.
Yeah.
And when you are focused on power, you need to talk with the big enterprises, with the big lords of economy. You don't talk with the shoemaker or with the regular people. So what happened with that is that you will law for the people you know, for the people who you are more in contact of. So when you have a small society, it's a kind of easier to have track of how are you making politics.
This is why I like the idea of having the government
Me too.
very close to the people at the city level.
Yeah.
For the
When
taxation is a very interesting concept.
It
very
is.
different than what we have here. Yeah.
No.
When it's bigger, it's super hard to keep that based on reality, because
Of course. And
you
people
will
don't
not
feel
live
like
around
what is their footprint? Like
Of
it
course.
feels like the institution feels so distant from you.
Of course.
And I think in such a big country as
Yeah.
well, it just it feels like something completely out of reach from us. Like we
They-
have no
they have these
control, we
fancy
have no
dinners,
voice,
and
we have no
no one has access to that, and they are discussing our future.
exactly.
But
just think about it. Think about what your day would look like if you were the president. Or if you were in charge of everybody. Because you're still just one guy, right? You're still waking up like 5 whatever, like the time, taking a piss, like go in a shower, like the whole. This is just a guy, right? It's just a human being. So he's not aware of. He's not magically aware of everything that's going on, right? You have like people that are in charge of certain things, and you have lots of help, right? To be able to manage the whole thing. But like think about how crazy that is.
yeah,
To make like decisions so far away from everybody that's gonna.
Absolutely.
So this is why like it makes sense when you say like okay, like of course we don't feel like it
Represented.
Exactly. So the cool thing when you have like decision like decentralized decision making, I think is the way to go, and I think the decision needs to be it needs to be as close as possible as the people that are going to benefit or be impacted by the decision. Yeah.
because at the end of the day, politics are not the monopoly of the president of a country. I think that politics are more on the hands of the Congress. But I don't know why we have this feeling about president being like a king, like this guy is who is running all this country. I mean, it's not like that.
It
It's
comes
a little
from
bit,
religion.
but
like
yeah,
we have the sense that we
we-
need this one person.
and
And
what
it's
we
not
need
that
more,
one person
it's-
cannot serve all of
No,
us.
what we need more is to take politics more into people's lives.
Yes.
Because we
Yes.
are a political
Political.
beings.
Yeah, because we're social beings.
Politics, I mean, politics means taking decisions. Yes. So we are political beings.
And
for
it all
sure.
comes back to life is a spectrum. The experience of life is a spectrum, and you cannot expect one person and one vision to
Yeah,
represent
for sure.
everything. That one thing can't be everything
No,
to
that's
you.
not. Yeah, that's never. This is why you never want to take decisions.
It can't be absolute. There is no like.
No, there's no. Yeah,
absolute.
100% doesn't exist. I don't think 100% exists. And also, the idea of I forgot where I was going with this actually.
I think that it's just that we are mentally tired.
It's but yeah, it's the if you have people close, if you have decision closer to the people, I think people are gonna feel more involved, and they're gonna. We need to take back the I think that it comes back to the duty versus the rights and whatever. We need to take back responsibility for what we have. It's not because what we did is we deferred responsibilities to people in charge, but I don't think that works. I don't think that works at all.
Let's think again how democracy born, and it was a group of guys meeting on Greece 2,000 years ago, trying to discuss what to do with their future.
Yeah, they were high as fuck too. Did you know that?
I know. A lot of weed and opium.
Well, it was actually psychedelic.
Yeah.
It was the ergot because the way there's this book. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So they studied the what's it called, the jar of wine of whatever in back then, and then they found like trace of ergot, which is those psychedelics mushrooms or whatever in the jar.
What a
right?
time for
They were having a good time.
We're having a good time. We're having a good time. Well, this is and also it makes sense because to be able to have the clarity to think differently, so wildly different, different than what it was, then it makes sense then that maybe you were tripping balls.
Yeah. Bro, that's another talk. I do think that shrooms are very interesting.
Yeah, shrooms
actually.
are interesting. Yeah.
There was a moment in my life when I realized that I needed to change my mindset, and I consciously used shrooms during a period of time, like controlled, but I knew that substance was going to help me like reset the way that I think, because shrooms helps you activate different neural paths.
Right.
So it's very interesting what you can get if you are responsible with that, of course. Where you can take your mind.
It's gonna help you if you have some things that you need to deal with. It's gonna deal with it.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm curious about where we've talked about a bunch of things, but I'm curious about where you see your business going. Like, what's your vision about
or maybe
about
what
this?
you're excited about next.
Yeah.
What we're excited about next.
I have two words:
Okay. Yeah.
movies and adventures.
Movies.
One of the biggest thing that I feel in this that you need to do.
Movie
in this
sucks
field
lately,
is-
no?
I think always, but with all the platforms, yeah, you
You mean
see
like in
more
terms of like the
trashy
impact,
movies.
or like
In
where
terms
the
of the
films
story.
are, the stories?
Yeah.
I think I think a lot of people rely too much on special effects and
And the
GCI
stories.
and GC is that GCI
CGI.
CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
So you also have just had like 2+ years of the industry being
Marvel?
kind of closed down.
Oh.
No, I meant just like the film
Oh.
industry
Yeah.
in general and
Yeah,
movies
yeah.
that are being
well,
made.
the
like
Marvel
sets were
movie
shut
used to
down
be
and-
good. Now they're a bunch of load
Yeah.
of crap, kind of.
So I have filmed by now 3 movies, 3 feature films, and I feel that it's beautiful because you need to take, let's say, 20 and more people to work together as a team, as just one being, trying to do some art. So it will be like a paint that is painted by 20, 30, 100, 200 people. And it's really beautiful because I am super leadership oriented. So I really like challenges when are related to handle groups of people, you know, and this is very interesting for me because I feel to shoot a movie, it's like to be, yeah, it's handling a group of people to do art. So it's different because you don't have this industry, you know, like everything
Well,
is
there's not a
making
specific
shoes.
way to
Yeah,
do
no,
it, right? It's
they are making art,
yeah.
and you're commanding a group of artists.
Yeah, so that I
It's
guess
beautiful.
that's why a bunch of director have different style.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
What kind of movie do you like to make?
I like drama. I would love to do like historic drama.
Yeah.
I think that's my kind of genre.
Of genre.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have worked a lot on sci-fi and horror movies.
Really?
So I kind of like that vibe too.
Huh.
Favorite genres.
So horror movie is something that interests you.
I like
Really?
the aesthetics of that.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I like nature, and one of the things that we are most afraid is nature. So I like to lighting with flame. I really find very attractive horror because you can have like this license to explore aesthetics because you are trying to make people feel like oh, this person is afraid, so how do I frame afraid on a frame? You know how? So maybe it's a little bit twist.
Maybe it's crooked a little bit.
Yeah. So because this person is losing control, so the camera is doing like this.
Handheld and
But then this person is super confused. So maybe I will take the focus out once in a while. So I'm transmitting this through camera. But then so horror allows you to explore like really deep stuff inside of you, and it lets you like. One of my best friends, who is a director, he said that he does movie to heal all his mental.
same way you were talking
or
about like
emotional,
journaling, right? Is
yeah.
it was a release to
Yeah.
get it
So
all out there.
I really like movies because of that, and that's our goal right now. And the other one, it's to be able to travel a lot, with our projects.
And explore and to really like again it comes back to the curiosity and to meeting new cultures and understanding and creating projects that like that offer that door, that window.
Yeah.
And I also want to say like because one of the branches of our company too is producing theater. Because I am a theater producer. It's my background. It's like the other cat.
We forgot that.
Out of the bag.
We got it out after almost 3 hours.
Drove us 3 hours. Yeah, no, and so I think that we're really interested in producing work that has high social impact, right? And so in everything that we do, if it's film, if it's whatever. Yeah. But with theater, I'm really interested in exploring works that are in partnership with the community and seeing how we can get people out and really how do we reignite that flame for live performance.
For art.
For art and for gathering, for social gathering. Like I'm really curious about that while also inspiring, I guess, like a connection back to what we were talking about with nature and like the importance of feeling like you have a footprint, an impact in society. So I want to make work that really, that inspires that, like that feeling in us and that creates that connectivity with the city, with our natural environment. And so
that's something that I'm really curious to begin exploring in Miami. Like, what does it mean to make theatrical experiences that are like in like at the intersection of like the environment? Like, what is it that this? I'm curious. I want to do research. I want to know what's happening in this city. What are the needs in terms of like our like nature and things? What do we need to know about and make artwork, things that are like entertaining and like, you know, that can be like commercial per se, but that also, you know, are connecting us and creating that sense of awareness and hopefully like a sense of like, what can I do? Right. So that's another goal with our company. And that's like a really big pillar. Yeah.
Have you guys spent a lot of time in the Everglades?
Yeah.
You have.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
Like
it there
you said,
too.
yeah.
We love
Have
going.
you been to the Keys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, no, it's and there's so much happening. Like, I mean, I think the Everglades need a lot of attention. Our coral reefs need a lot of attention. And I'm really curious about like right now. I recently heard one of the do you guys listen to The Daily, the New York Times? I highly recommend, but they did a story on the bleaching of the coral reefs that's happening because of the high temperatures that is happening in climate change. And they're doing a lot of work to restore the coral reefs in Florida. So I don't know. It's something that I'm really curious about. I want to explore. But I don't know. What would it mean to make work around something like that? Yeah, because I don't think enough people know about what's happening.
Yeah.
So
That's not. That's interesting. It is fascinating to reconnect with, because we've been. Did we talk about this yesterday or no?
What?
I think we forgot how cool it is just to hang out outside.
yeah,
Sure.
just being outside.
Yeah.
Just I mean, we live right on Biscayne Bay, and we see, like, for example,
Manatees, dolphins,
dolphins, everything.
every
But
single day.
everything. But we also see
A
the
lot.
massive dumping that is happening and like the how polluted the bay is. Like you see literal, this is going to be really graphic, but you see literal shit in like
Really?
yeah actually, because there's a lot like leaking
It's treated,
but it's
shit.
literally leaking into, and you see just like, I mean, when you're going in your kayak, you're swimming around shit literally, and it's like some days, but it's quite frequent. And most of the times the swim advisory, like if you look, there's an app, I forget what it's called, but it'll tell you what days you should go in the bay and what days you shouldn't, because it's not there's
It makes sense because I know cities, they release like dirty water in the ocean or whatever.
Yeah.
We do that a lot in Canada too. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand why. This is funny to me because politicians, they love to say that they care about the environment or whatever, and then they go ahead and release all of this shit.
Yeah.
wow, and we're literally like swimming in shit.
They virtue signal and they give everyone lessons, but then they release all.
It's crazy, and where we live, there are a couple of islands, super beautiful islands that are not connected with the city, so they are nature.
Yeah.
100% nature. And we go there. It's they are beautiful, but after holidays or something like that, when people go on their yacht to have fun on the island, to the sandbars and stuff, when you go to those islands after that,
There's
it's
trash
disgusting, bro.
everywhere.
It's like,
Yeah.
Everywhere. Like,
it's insane how
it's insane.
people leave their trash on a
how could you?
pristine island. How can they?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but yeah, this is the world that we live on, and so
So let's make it better.
let's make it.
Let's
make
make
it-
it
yeah,
better.
this
So
is-
whatever we do, it's like, how can we move through the world, making sure that like we're making it better.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a net positive in all of my interaction with people. The most I can. I'll give you the best I can. Sometimes you're gonna get a little bit more.
Cheers for that.
Sometimes I'm gonna be tired or whatever. I'm gonna I'm gonna try to give you the best that I can in the moment that we have. But sometimes it's hard inside. But you need to be aware of the other person too, because it's nicer to not have the mask like we were saying earlier, because there's for me it's frustrating when someone keeps the mask, because I try to be as real as it is. Like, look, we have this thing to do. Please, let's do it. Let's go through this the best we can. Let's go through this interaction.
Yeah.
It could be with the tax guy. It could be with the barista. It could be with the server. You let's try to do our thing. We all have different goals or whatever. Let's just try to make it work, right? We can work together. But yeah, it's you don't need to. You're not gonna have problems with me if you don't give me problems. You're not gonna have problems with me. And yeah, I think this is what I think most people should strive for. Is just try to be, and your environment could be just like with coworkers. It could be with your family. It could be just try to be a net positive. In as big as an environment you can or you want to, but just.
Sure. I feel that will be a nice synthesis for today talk, and I feel that we are all together in this grain of sand that is traveling around the universe that we call Earth.
Exactly.
We are all trapped here with the animals, with the
with each
with everything,
other.
with each other. So the only thing that we can do is give the best, because
We're all connected.
we're all connected. You can't do it by yourself, and I do appreciate this invitation from you. I do appreciate to be here, because I feel that this is what we need to do, to talk more, to face more other people and their points of view, and yeah.
And I love
Cheers
when
for
I'm
that.
right. I love when I'm right about people that I'm intrigued, and then I'm like, there's something there. I like them. And I'm like, okay, cool. I think it's gonna be interesting. And then it was cool. It was awesome. I liked it so much, and I learned. Yeah, it was very interesting. And the last, because it's been I think we're at 3 hours something.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's funny because you said
was
earlier
saying-
that
Yeah, an
Let's
hour.
keep it short.
Well, you have a different opinion, right? Maybe a little longer.
no,
Yeah.
it goes fast.
It flies.
And this is the cool thing that I feel like this is how I consume my podcasting. It's just I do consume a lot of podcasts, and I don't mind the 3 hours conversation. I don't mind to listen to it for 30 minutes and then come back to it for an hour and a half, and then I don't mind to cut it in but I like to listen to episode in the full, because you never know when and then I like that it's not scripted too, and I like that we're just like kind of like it's a discussion. It's we're talking, right? This is fun.
Yeah.
For me it's fun. I don't know about you guys, but I liked it. So
No, it's great.
And I like when we kind of jump into rabbit holes, into ideas, and we're juggling with it, and we see how we feel about it. And this is why it's so interesting to me to be. Well, also, like, I like when I disagree with someone that I like, because I'm like, okay, like, why? Like, why do you see it that way? And I like to have new ideas introduced to me, because then I can see how I feel about it, and I can see I can be more certain about my views if I am certain about the views, because I don't think you can fully understand something if you cannot argue both sides.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
Both, and there is more than two sides. always.
And there's always more
That's
than two
interesting.
sides.
yeah, because it's not black and white.
Endless.
No.
Yeah, the we need to everything. Well, the gray. There's more gray than we think. I think, and the subtleties of subjects there's no one size fits all. Yeah, because this is why I agreed with you when you said the spectrum thing, whatever. I agree. This is, I agree. Yeah. Anyway, so what's your what's the next thing that you guys are working on? What's your what's the best project that you're
We are planning a road trip to Georgia.
Oh yeah, yeah. We might. I think we may be shooting like a little like commercial kind of thing
stuff in Georgia.
next week.
Okay.
Hopefully.
nice?
For this really incredible chef. They're actually, I think they started here in Miami.
Yep.
The Maíz Project.
What's that?
And so this is
Mostly arepas.
mostly arepas. Yeah.
No way.
So
Valentina was telling us.
Yeah.
and he's trying to restore the traditional, like bring awareness to the traditional ways of making arepas. And so his work is really beautiful.
Yeah,
He's
super good at it.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
He's incredible. He was at the Time Out Market, and he's also I think I'm not sure if he did Smorgasburg, but yeah, Richard Ortega.
Does
He's
he
incredible.
come here sometime or no?
To Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He spends a lot of time here,
Yeah,
and
really?
and he's in New York. Yeah, we'll give you his contact, but he's wonderful.
Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
so yeah, so we're doing a little project with him next week,
Our Basel, I think.
and then Art Basel, and then we have another potential thing coming up. That's
Art
exciting.
Basel is coming up in a few weeks. No,
Yeah.
when is that?
December 5th.
6th.
I think it starts, the 5th or 6th.
Are you sharing
9th.
anything or attending?
We're working it,
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I will be
Yeah.
one of the official photographers of our Basel
cool.
installations.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be super fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Let me know because this is interesting. The art basel that is happening here. I came last year and then I went a little bit. I didn't know what it was, but it's
Yeah.
I was able to. You remember the artist that died last year? He had a shop at Art Basel. It was in the Design District, and I remember because it was a big thing. He died just a couple of weeks before, or something like that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there was an
I can't
event
remember.
in his shop in the Design District, and it was like a big event. I don't remember his name.
I can't remember, but I know exactly who you're talking
apologize
about.
to
Yeah.
everyone that liked him. The event was nice. I mean, he had a big impact because all of these people were there
Yeah.
to remember him. That was cool.
What
Yeah.
happened in our Basel is very interesting.
Yeah, there's so many different incredible artists that are coming in, conversations happening around, and not just about art. I mean, it's just like, there's
Well, yeah,
some-
the fun thing, I was with my friend Yan, and we met this guy from Montreal, this artist Rio. He's I'll show you Rio painter on Instagram, RIO painter, whatever. He does this crazy painting, and then he was actually in kind of a glass, like kind of food truck or whatever. Like he was painting in like a glass car, and he was doing the thing. He was painting live.
Oh, that's
It
really
was
cool.
amazing. It was amazing. And he just sold one of his painting for like 50 grand or something. It was cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible. So, well, I guess it's one. So, like, yeah, we
Oh
need
my
to get
God.
going.
Oh my God.
Good lunch.
Thank you
So,
for having us.
thank you guys for
Thank you so
for coming
much.
today. It's Thanksgiving
Yeah.
today, so happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I hope even if you said that it was the worst holiday.
No.
Yeah, I hope we were able to have a good day still.
I can say that I will not forget this Thanksgiving Day.
Oh,
Yeah. This
It
was
was
a
a good
really
one.
this was a great conversation.
It was fun.
Thank
it was
you.
very fun. Where can we find you guys? What's your website? What's the next thing?
Yeah. So our website is FURIOSAproductions.com. And we're how do I spell it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so FURIOSA. And then
Nice.
productions. And we're also on Instagram. It's the same. Yeah. So
thank
please.
you guys so much.
Nice.
This
Yeah, it was
awesome.
amazing. Let's do let's
Let's
that.
do a
Let's
road
go on a
trip by
let's go on a motorcycle
Let's
trip.
Yes. All right. Ciao, everybody. Bye-bye.
Ciao.